Ex-Inmates of Reddit. What was the stupidest thing you've seen a new inmate do on his first day in prison? Told a kid there was a pool out at yard. Guard saw him waiting to go out in shorts with his shower towel and asked him what he was doing. Kid said him gonna go swimming outside, it looks nice. Don't think I've laughed so hard in my life. It's an original but always funny. Worked as a corrections officer. Guy got busted for sexual assault of a minor. Figured everyone else in the tank was on similar charges, so began talking openly about it, feeling he was safe. We had to subdue 5 guys who jumped him in the rec yard. Guy was sent to the hospital as he was fairly unresponsive. He was sent to protective custody after that. Kid came in and I assume he has watched a lot of movies cause he figured he'd fight the biggest guy on the range. Lol. He wasn't even the toughest guy in the hospital he woke up in. Obligatory not me, but I know a guy, and his cellmate was a young 19-year-old kid. The kid was confused and in the course of talking about their lives admitted he was bi. The guy I know told him, "Hey man, that's cool, but don't tell that to anyone else in here, seriously. Tell literally everyone how he was going to escape," and showed off all the tools he was using. This idiot walked right into a Mexican gang meeting and almost got beaten up. Source: I'm the idiot. Edit: I was in jail, not prison. My mistake. Again, I'm idiot. Second edit: since many people are asking, from what I understand, the difference between prison and jail is this. Jail is for sentences of less than a year, whereas prison is for sentences of over a year, varying from state to state. Jails is run by the city or county, prisons ran by state or federal government. You can go to jail to await your trial before sentencing, then after be sent back to jail or to prison depending on how long and whether it's a felony or not. Prison is for felonies. Not shower. For weeks. He got his clothes ripped up and he was thrown half naked into the showers. They also tuned him up pretty good. Not an ex-inmate, but an ex-company dude came in on drug charges. First thing he does upon walking into the pod is announce loudly enough that I could hear that he got drugs past the dipshits in intake. Yeah, not the brightest bulb. That one. Lol. Kid gets booked in, hits the unit and starts borrowing food and other commissary items. Before he knew it, he was $200 in the hole. Problem is, in jail and prison, most people who are willing to loan items out expect 2 or 3 of the same item back. You know, interest. Very easy way to get yourself indebted is by borrowing any food or other items. Never get in debt while incarcerated. Skinny kid, hippie type, got busted with some weed. Someone else on the range was getting beat up for something or other and the kid tried to intervene. Just said, "Hey, leave him alone." Got beat to within an inch of his life in the shower. Pro tip: in jail, mind your own business. Call his grandma and just cuss her out and talk her like dog shit because she didn't want to put her house up for collateral to bail him out. Reach across some owns food. A slight twist: we had a pink wet floor sign that we would put up in the entrance to the showers, so everyone knew there was someone in there jerking off. The fun game was to watch the new guys, myself included, innocently walk into the entrance to the showers that very first time, past the pink wet floor sign, and then see him come skittering back out a few moments later. Deleted. Excuse me, sir, there seems to be a mistake. I'm supposed to be getting out of prison today. Goofy looking kid, curly hair, thick glasses. He comes in and for some reason he befriends me. He starts telling me what he did. Sexual assault if a minor. I told him not to be telling nobody that shit because it'll get you in trouble. The rest of that day and the next, I bailed out. By then, I could hear him from across the hall telling other people. Not surprised if he's been kicked around a few times. When the skinny little street thug white kid walked across the yard and threw at a bench full of full-blown crits. Didn't see him much after that shit storm. admit that he was in for sexual assault and being a pedo. And then it was about 8 p.m. and we found out he was a chronic masturbator and he would not stop jacking off in his bunk. He was 22. And it was jail, not prison. So at that moment, we had maybe 12 to 15 people in our cell. Some guy woke up from a nap and thought he was having a seizure. So he went to go check on him. What a goddamn shock they both had. Edit. Spelling and grammar. Father-in-law did 12 years on a second-degree murder rap back in the very early 90s. He told me that one time this new guy plopped himself down at the Hells Angels table and started eating breakfast. When he was told to move, he ignored them. After breakfast, the course ended up having to cut through about 6 rolls of duct tape to get the guy loose. He never sat near the house again. Not me but my dad. Guy came in raging at what he did. Said he was a monster and the toughest guy around and that he could take anybody on in the pen. Giving him the benefit of the doubt. He apparently was OP big and tough guy. Come to find out though, he was in for the assault, rape, then murder of a woman and her child. He might have been big and tough, but not after 5 big guys beat the absolute shit out of him and practically killed him. As most of you know, the one thing all prisoners can agree on is that anyone who messes with kids or women are on an immediate hit list. Edit. The women thing might have just been a rule amongst him and the PPL he ran with. Hey op, I hope you have a good first day of prison tomorrow. So my dad's currently convicted and the craziest story he's told me is one of the newer inmates was young and arrogant. Always spouting off bullshit about how unaccountable he was. Then one day, another inmate packed up his items, went into the younger inmate's cell and tried to strangle him. The younger inmate was that fucking annoying. He survived. The attempted murderer is in max and when the younger inmate came back from the hospital he was still spouting bullshit. Got busted for smoking weed with 2 buddies. When we put in the holding cell, one of them wanted to mark the event by carving his name in the paint on the cell door. When we got put in a cell later, they came back and took him to solitary for a week. Where I was in prison, they utilized 4-0 soft round launchers to respond to group disturbances. Let me tell you, they weren't soft. Kid comes in thinking he's still hardcore from juvenile hall because guards there didn't do anything when people fought. Decided to up and join a gang that he knew nothing about on his first day. Thought he was tough and started to diss the gang they had high tensions with at the time. And started a group disturbance. Course respond. Tell him to get down. He refuses and curses at them. Boom 4-0 to his face. Was an accidental shot to the face according to the company. Face was distorted as hell after. Fractured skull. On his first day. One guy bragging about what he did to get himself in jail. Other dude showering barefoot. Great way to get convicted. Great way to get jungle fungus. Saw this weird, unshaven, scraggly young guy with a yellow beanie once who said he agreed with the Latin kings on social issues but fiscally he was more of an Aryan. He ended up joining both gangs. There was an old myth that if you challenged the meanest guy in your block to a fight, everyone else would leave you alone. It's true. No one will torment you if you are dead. Kid tried it and got dropped off the 5th tier. First day in general pop. Last day in general pop. Most guys just want to do their time alone. Most rape and violence in prison is about debt or tax. If you play it straight, 98% of guys will just leave you alone. Fucking someone up on the yard makes your time worse, not better. Loss of privilege, of time in solitary. Most people don't want that. Most of the straight up psychopaths are in 23/1 lockdown anyway. You get in debt or shoot your mouth off and you will get settled or taxed. Both are to be avoided. This weird guy named Robert from the TV show 60 Days In has a couple stories that could be in this thread. The stupidest may have been when he covered the prison camera with a sheet. Went to solitary 30 days. He quit the program halfway. Eat the candy bar found on his pillow. Punch the biggest guy on the block to establish dominance. There was a new guy who came in one day. You could tell he was gay by his mannerisms. A few days into his sentence, he was forced to suck a guy's dick. He bit it off. Just going to generalize. Small town folk who are used to being the biggest and baddest. Big fish small pond types who think they are going to be king when they walk in. They usually are dominated pretty quickly. Dominated being either beat or made into a bitch. Best bet if you go to prison, hopefully no one ever goes, is unless you know someone well connected on the inside. Just keep your head down, focus on yourself, and do your time. It's going to be boring, menial, and seemingly endless, but you don't want to get caught up in any gang stuff or be snitching. There's a code and system in prison that needs to be followed, and if you walk in like King Sheet of Turd Hill when you are a nobody, you will learn real quick that you ain't nothing. Saw in one of those jail documentaries, young man about 18, had no gangs affiliation of any kind, was in for some kind of minor crimes. Decides to try to impress the Nazi people by lifting weights with them. He tries to do leg presses. Turns out he couldn't even lift 100 pounds and barely got any reps done. The whole Nazi gang laughed at him while he was doing it. Edit. Someone linked the clip. They actually laugh at him for not lifting 2 4 zeros, but not a 100. Used a salad fork with his entree. Ooh boy, the Latin kings were vexed. I found a hypodermic needle in my thin mattress and tried to go give it to the guard. I was bum rushed by an inmate, whose it probably was, and told that if I had given it to the guard, I would have faced a pee test and solitary. This was day 1. On day 3 I asked to trade laundry detergent for a back rub, and only after I did so did I realize that everyone thought I was gay. I was a very dumb 18-year-old white girl. Subscribe, like and comment if you hate outros. Begging you to subscribe, like and comment.